Next question. Yes.
What is it to have pity with someone?
What is it to have pity with someone? That's a very relative question, because I have found out that people, when it comes to pity, people have very different distinctions of the description of pity. It has a lot to do how you look at pain, take pain, feel pain, how you look at human beings versus animals, and how you look at yourself. There's a lot in it. Yeah. So pity, I can only really speak from my point of view, and I've come across other people's description of pity, but it's still, there's a lot of background, a lot of history in it. There is a description in the dictionary for pity, and I'm sure it's in the German dictionary too. What is the description for pity? What does it say? Pity. What is it? Yeah. Yeah. And what does it say? What pity is? You all know, huh? We all have our sense of what pity is. Pity. It definitely, when one sees hardship from happening to other human beings, and they are victims or whatever, there's some sense of pity that can be drawn out, that can be not healthy, and yet it can have a sense of healthiness to the point that it can get you to go on a cause to help people so they aren't such victims. And so and then you can use that pity in there. And yet pity, a lot of people use it inappropriately. And that's more common, actually, so where it's used inappropriately. Then there's self-pity, and that's even worse. And self-pity is easier to have than it is for pity of others, actually. It's much more at home, easier to wallow in it, easier to bathe in it, in self-pity than pity for others. Usually pity for others doesn't last too long. The time sequence that once you see something externally, the pity only usually lasts for so many seconds. You can maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds, but when it comes to self-pity, oh my God, decades. And decades and decades. So the time sequence of pity of the external and internal are very different. So I would pose this question more to self-pity, because it absorbs more of your life. It takes up more time of your life. Huh? Better, huh? Huh? Put it on a balance scale, and you'll see. Yeah. So.
That was not my question.
Oh, what was your question?
What is pity? To have pity for others. What is it? How do you see it? As you said in the beginning, you only can tell from your point of view.
Yeah. So let me go over when I see someone in conflict or see someone hurting. For instance, my son. I have a 20-year-old son that had an emotional breakdown. It was, a mental and emotional breakdown, a very severe breakdown. He was my first son. He was my idol. Like with most fathers, your first son, you know how it is. And I lost him. And it has an effect. And because it started to happen when he was, we saw something occurring when he was 12 years old. That was the first sign. And And it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And I could sense me having pity for my son. Because he's my blood, he's close, and he was my star, and my star died. I mean, like most mothers and fathers, no matter whether you're a mother and a father, there are some you love more, some not as much. Some you really you can communicate better, and some you just can't. Chemical. It's all chemical. And with my son and I, we were fit like a glove, and it was just such a beauty all those early years. And then to watch him deteriorate, and to feel my pity in there, and it was hard not to have pity, and especially when you could see it was not his fault. He didn't do anything. He didn't take any drugs. He was just a good guy, and just something went wrong in his brain, and so there was a natural response of not just feeling sorry for him, but a sense of pity, because that's one young man who just like most kids, they love life. They just want to go out and do their life, And he was just very normal, and he lost it. So the pity that I felt during these years, and there was nothing I could do. I was helpless, totally helpless. And all I could do, but the pity that was emanating from my feelings and my heart, I had to transform them, and not have pity for my son, and not really have a sense of feeling sorry, but because there's a condition here that we just don't understand yet. And when you understand these teachings that I have, and things happen in this world, we are creatures that are extremely vulnerable to oxygen. We are extremely vulnerable to viruses and bacteria. Our bodies are extremely vulnerable to be altered in such a way that it can twist us, with rheumatoid arthritis, to eating us up, as with cancer, as with having breakdowns that who knows what the causes are. And you can go down the wrong street. You can make the wrong decision and end up in an accident, or meet the love of your life. Don't forget what planet you're living on. And the pity cannot help but come out when it is something that really is close to you. But one cannot stay in it because it's not healthy. And then one has to, don't forget and look at all the wonderful young men and young women who are healthy and having a good life and growing up healthy, body, mind, and spirit, as much as possible. And you got to turn your eyes and look at that, and be grateful and thankful that they're fine, and wonderful, and that you say, all right, life is good. Mine went down, but they're good. They're good. That is what's important. And then the transformation of pity takes place. And all you can do is do what you can do. And that's about it. But don't keep your eyes looking into that direction because they will tear you down. You must keep your eyes in the direction of those who are healthy and doing well and have the gratefulness that you can see it and that they are going to grow up, most likely, without the problems. That is what you do with pity. So pity is transformed. And you can work with self-pity. Self-pity is very different. External pity is a different character. Self-pity is a totally different animal, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it good or how important is it to develop pity, not self-pity? So to understand someone.
I personally do not advocate or try to teach someone to have pity for others. I don't do that.
There is a problem also with the language.
Yeah?
I wonder if you rather mean compassion.
Uh-huh.
Is a language gap?
It could be. Oh, compassion. Oh, that's very different. It's very different. Compassion is what I try to teach people, and not pity. Understand pity, but yeah, but compassion is a very different word. It's a totally different view, completely different view in another direction. And compassion is important for all human beings to have. It is like salt. We all need a certain amount of salt, a very small amount actually, and we can go a long way. As it is for compassion, we just need just a very, very small amount, but pure compassion, and it will go a long, long, long way. For our heart and for our mind. Yeah. Compassion has a tremendous amount of depth that has to be understood. It's got to be broken down word for word, layer by layer, year by year, incident by incident, world war by world war, disease by disease. Relationship by relationship, generation by generation, time and spaciousness. It is the purity of understanding compassion that somehow can put in a person on like a magic carpet, that you can go through war, you can go through peace, you can go through hardship, you can go through goodness. You can go through laughter. You can go through tears. And the magic carpet, you could say, the strength of compassion itself, is what will carry the human being through it all. Yeah. And your question is anger and rage, and when is it appropriate to express it? Is that, did I pick it up right? first of all, when it comes to anger, there is appropriate anger and there's inappropriate anger. And people should be taught the difference. That people should learn and have good discretion what is appropriate anger and what is inappropriate. And once that is taught, then one has a better chance of walking amongst a party with your friends and go through all kinds of various situations that happen to everybody, good and bad, and be able to allow appropriate anger come out because it's appropriate, and not have inappropriate anger come out because it is not appropriate. And most people are naive with this. Most people don't understand the difference. They think they're both one and the same, and they're not. Appropriate anger is so necessary to have in this world. You know why appropriate anger is necessary to have in this world, and why it is hard not to have it, and why it is easy for all human beings to have? Because things are very wrong in this world. And therefore, you have a right to be angry at it, because it is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong, period. And you better be angry about it, because it is wrong. This is a good, healthy anger to have. When somebody does something inappropriately wrong, it's okay to be angry because it's wrong. Then, when you start to speak it out and you start to express it out, it's medicine. It's good, healthy medicine for you inside. But when it comes to inappropriate anger, that's the killer. Because in the background of inappropriate anger, jealousy, greed, malice, hate, revenge, not getting what you want, inappropriate anger, that is the anger that is destructive to this world. And people should be taught the difference. And when you can allow and understand and recognize and have the discretion that when the appropriate anger is starting to be expressed and you can allow it, you could say freedom. You can say, my God, this is freedom, you could say. And that's what creates good, healthy change in this world and in your life. But if you mix and put it in the same bag as appropriate anger, inappropriate anger, no wonder people get confused with their lives. No wonder they get confused with their concepts. You mix them. Mix it. Don't mix mud with good, clean, healthy water. But most people, they throw mud in the same bag. Because, what is a fuel? What is a fuel of anger? Why do people, let's say, when they don't understand the difference, and one anger is coming out, and then this other anger comes out, appropriate, inappropriate, appropriate, inappropriate, appropriate, and inappropriate. What's the fuel that they feel, that they sense inside, that they're feeding off of? It's a fuel. It's a fuel. Anger's a fuel. Anger is a fuel. What is this fuel? The fuel of strength. You get strength from it. Righteousness, 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 righteousness. You get to feel that. Makes you feel right. Makes you feel right. Makes you feel strong because it gives you strength. You feel that adrenaline running through your blood, so you feel, yes, 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 this is right. This is correct. You're going to get it because I am stronger now. I feel stronger now. That's why you're going to get it. Be careful with the honey. Be careful with the sugar intake. It's a false fuel. It is a false fuel. Appropriate anger, you get fuel. You get the honey, you get the sugar too, just like inappropriate anger. But the sugar is tainted. The sugar is corrupt. The honey's corrupt. And you'll still get all pumped up with your ego and strength. Children do it through action, through movement. And you got to find a way and a means that they can move this expression. So it's not something you cannot expect any kid to express. You can't. It's ridiculous. They do it through play. They do it through movement. They do it through rolling over on a ball. They do it through jumping. And you got to find a way to so they can move it out with their body. That's how their body it moves through the body speech. Yeah. Right?
And then when they are quiet again, I shall lead them to separate the things or to reflect it, because they have to learn to decide which is good anger and which is bad anger.
Yes.
Okay, I can work it out with sport or playing.
Yes.
But they have to see the difference.
Yes.
And I can't show them doing it by sport.
Through a game you can. Play act you can. That you can. The difference between the two. Yeah. And instead of slapping, you can like hit a ball or try and run up a wall or there's other ways. But you should be able to see it first. That means, let's move it before they get aggressive and they can't control it. Break time, German time. There was a question about inappropriate anger and how to handle it. Especially, I'm sure all of us gets inappropriate anger from others, and most of us give it out. Yeah. How to handle it. That's why they invented guns. Arrows and spears. And got very clever and started throwing rocks. Yeah. How would you handle it? Inappropriate anger. It's very difficult, isn't it? Yeah. It's very difficult to manage, especially once it's in your blood and it's raising the heat inside your blood. hard to keep it contained. And it's hard not to direct it to a person that deserves it. Yeah. So maybe it's a matter of understanding deserving. Because once you inject yourself with inappropriate anger, and inappropriate anger is very much like a designer's drug, heroin. And once you inject yourself with heroin, there's nothing you can do until the drug wears out, until the drug wears down, until it has been dissipated by your organs. Nothing you can do. And it would be good for you to do this. If you could get some kind, well, Jesus, here we're breaking the law, or imagine. You got this hypodermic needle, and you're putting a drug in it, like heroin or something, and you go through the whole process, and there's nothing you can do but just wait it out, wait it out, wait it out, wait it out, and wait it out, and wait it out, and then it's over. Well, that's what inappropriate anger is. You have injected yourself. Actually, you have. Now, listen to this. You have injected yourself. Your mother didn't do it. And your grandfather didn't do it. And even your great-great-grandfather that died didn't do it. Your enemy didn't do it. You did it. You did it. You did it. Okay? So now that you have injected yourself, it's good to go through these sensations and understand that now you're dealing with time, and you're at the mercy of the given amount of time, of the quantity of how much heroin you have put into the hypodermic needle. That's it. And then, once it's in your blood, you know how it is. It's easy to create destruction, and it's easy to create some harm and a lot of ill feelings, and that's difficult to do. But there's not much you can do about it because it's already in your blood. But maybe it's the word deserving has not been quite understood or looked at. Because that's how habits are. Whether you're an alcoholic or you have some compulsions that are always overriding your good senses, and there's not much you can do about it, and there you are going for it. But maybe if a person starts to look at the word deserving, the person deserves it. The person deserves it. What is it that they deserve? Why do they deserve it? I mean, do they deserve it? Where did I get this? Just because they violated me, or just because they harmed me with words, or because they hit me, or because they stole from me, or because they abused me in some way, they deserve it. Where did I get this? You hit me, I hit you. You hit me, I hit you. You hit me, you deserve to be hitten. You hit me, you deserve to be hit. You steal from me, you deserve it. You get me angry, you deserve it. Where is this? This deserve. Huh? Maybe that's the bridge that is not really quite understood, but one uses the bridge to attack the enemy, to release the impulse inside. And one doesn't pay attention to the bridge. And it's been built brick by brick, nail by nail, with deserving. Play tennis. You like tennis? That's one of the great causes to build a bridge named deserving. You throw the ball at me, I'm going to whack it back. You deserve it. And basically people do this quite easily inside. Children do it quite naturally inside to hit back. But when one doesn't pay attention to it, the bridge, which is actually a very old bridge in most of us, we easily just run across the bridge and don't look at the bridge that was built. And if we take down this bridge, named deserving, what's going to happen? We have no more bridge to cross, no more bridge to run across and hit back. No satisfaction to complete. No feeling, a sense of accomplishment. I have attacked the enemy and won. I have made him bleed. Deserving the bridge. Practice when someone does something to you that creates some form of ill feelings. Practice to stand steady and not to run across the bridge. You can see it in a movie. That can happen. You know, friends do it a lot. It can happen in a paper. And stand back and don't run forward because they deserve it. And that goes for people who murder, that you read in the paper. That goes for anybody that causes some form of an illness inside for you to run across the bridge because you think they deserve it. You think they deserve it. And what would happen to our feelings and our mind if we take the bridge down and reconstruct a bridge? A different kind of a bridge. That when we get afflicted and stay on our side of the river, so to speak, until everything's okay, there's no revenge, there's no payback, but to go and try and mend things and make things better. with no ulterior motives. Then the person, when we cross that new bridge, they will see it in our eye that there's no judgment. You're not coming to hit back. You're not coming to play games. They will see that you have mercy in your eyes, that you have tolerance in your eyes, that there's no aggression in your walk. And that will give a person a whole new view how to handle their life when someone hits them with a word or an act that harms them. For that takes courage. That takes a lot of strength to do that. And have it real clear, because people naturally hit. And make it real clear to stand fast, stand steady. Until the ill feelings are gone and there's goodwill. You know, people see, but they don't see. People hear, but they don't hear. People feel, but they don't feel. People know, but they don't know. People have been taught to play games with their mind. People have even created the subconscious. The subconscious really does not exist. It's really just one mind. But because we have learned to play games with ourselves, hide and seek, hide and seek, hide and seek. I see, I don't see, hide and seek. And we do it with ourselves so well inside. And because it has become so natural in society, all of a sudden we have a subconscious. Oh, no wonder I didn't see. Oh, no wonder I hit back. Oh, no wonder I said that. Oh, I don't know where that came from. Oh, now we have found the most wonderful excuse under the terms of psychology, and now we have, listen, I have my license to have a subconscious that I didn't see it. Here's my license. So see, it's okay. And this is what human beings love to do, control everything. And they created this. And people have bought it. People literally bought this, the subconscious stuff. And he keeps it subconscious. They keep that Berlin Wall up. And then it's nothing but the conscious mind and then the subconscious. Then the mystery stays alive, and all it is just superstition. That's all it is just superstition. And a lot of people make a lot of money out of it because there's a mystery in it. And especially when one believes it, another one believes it, one talks about it, another one talks about it, and all of a sudden, that's it. It's the law. We are cut in half. Our beautiful, beautiful mind. Have you ever seen the sky above cut in half? Have you ever seen space cut in half? No. But we sure cut the mind in half, didn't we? Cruel. It's cruel, actually. It's a child's game, and a lot of people have bought it. And it is really up to you. You are going to go against a society that believes in this. And you're going to have to really stand on your own and have the courage to stand on your own to take away and take down this Berlin Wall. It's the same thing as the wall is taller than ever here in Berlin. Invisible, but stronger. Invisible and has created a lot more dissension. And that's what we've done with ourselves. Don't buy that game. It is one sky. It is one mind. It's just that the game of hide and seek has continued on to the adult age. And some very clever people have found great excuses to not see but see, and to give everybody a license so they have excuses for themselves. The way to uproot this illness, this disease, is that you got to come to terms very, very clearly, very well. What you know it well. What you don't know it well. Yes, yes, no, 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 yes, 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 no, 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 yes, 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 no, 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 yes, 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 no, no, yes, yes, no, no, yes, 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 no, no, yes, 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 no, 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 yes, yes, no, no, yes, yes, no, 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 yes, 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 no, 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 yes, 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 no, 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 yes, 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 no, 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 yes, 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 no, 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 yes, 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 no, no, yes, 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 no, 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 yes, 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 yes. Know what you know and know it well, and what you don't know it well. It is the honesty of the given situation that will transcend that illness. And the trouble with it, it hurts to do that. It's painful to do that, for you will see your illness. You will see what is not so nice in you, that is created, that has divided our atmosphere, that has divided the air in half. The hidden side, because you don't want to see. Or, you know, very simply, I'll never forget this. When I first came to Europe, and I saw that the Europeans, they were more conscientious, more conscious, more present, better minds, more alert, than the Americans. And I thought, wow, this is a gold mine, because they're not easily bought, they're not easily sold. They're more independent, they're good thinkers, and they really think before they do something. It is, in America, when you go buy anything in America, anything, you can take it back the next day, you can take it back the next week. You got 31 days to take it back. Anything. You can buy 3 or 4 different things, go home, try them out. I want to take them all back. You go back, and the store says, no problem. No problem, sure. What would you like your money back, or would you like an exchange? What do you want to do? In Europe, you buy something, you bought it. And you better make that decision. This is what's healthy. Yes, yes. No, no. Yes, yes. No. It's beautiful. It is good. Make the decision. Know what you want to buy. And what you don't want to buy, know it. Americans have been given the freedom not to know what they want to buy.
I really had a beautiful experience a few days ago, and I would like to tell it.
Wait. Let me get off this here. Yeah. And so I held this first retreat in Switzerland, and I showed this movie at this movie house. And it was a movie called The Naked Prey. A very down-to-earth movie, situations that has happened to lots of people throughout the centuries, and is still happening to people all over the world. Not just how cruel human beings can be, but the predicament that human beings can find themselves in. And how it shocked so many people. They couldn't see it. It was too much, too violent, They want to see human beings offer flowers on the movie house, or just go for a walk, but not what human beings can do to another human being, or the predicaments that human beings can fall into. Then I saw, oh boy, these Europeans are not as honest with themselves as I thought. Violence, destruction, it's not a nice thing to observe and to watch. And that's why so many human beings have learned to literally slice the sky in half and divide the mind into subconscious, conscious. I don't want to see you. I want to see you. I don't want to hear you. Now I want to hear you. I don't like that word. Now I do. I don't want to see that scene. Now I do. It is necessary to protect your children from violent movies and a lot of destruction in all those early years, until they have developed enough strength and good common sense to be able to start to open up into the world, because this world is not Disneyland, people. It really isn't. Disneyland belongs in Florida and in Paris. And because war can happen. Every 40 years there's been war in Europe, something like that, or 60 years. War can happen. and to have the sense to develop a strength inside, to use the eyes what they were for, to see what really takes place in this world and what people can do, the good and the bad, the shadows and the light. But to have an understanding based on pretty much why people do what they do. So then there's no room, no seed for hatred to emerge as a result. And that's why I go look at movies you turn your eyes from that makes you feel an ache or pain. There's so many beautiful, realistic movies out there to see what other human beings have gone through, what mothers have gone through and fathers, brothers and sisters and friends just like you. Without hatred, without crossing that bridge of deserving. For what helps to make a human being more really what it is to be a human being is to stand fast and stay on your side of the river until the charges of hate or malice or deserving have gone away. It is then that a change is created inside you. A chemical change will take place inside for standing fast. For these are the little secrets, these are the magic keys. That as you keep doing these little important things, little by little, little by little, little by little, all of a sudden, you have reached a point, you have reached a pinnacle, that the Spirit will come to you because you have the courage, you have the strength, you have the goodwill. You're using your blood what it is for. You're using your will what it's designed for. To be more than just a human being. To be more than just an animal. To be more than just mind. And to have compassion and patience. So over the years, I knew that the result of the people coming out of the movie house, irate, angry, disturbed, highly disturbed, not all, it told me what I needed to do. Slowly, slowly get them to open up their eyes. Slowly, slowly, slowly open up that trap door from the subconscious into the conscious mind that they have built for themselves. The false floor, the false ceiling, the false walls that have divided their minds. For you see, maturity just does not require for you to have what you call your conscious mind. Maturity has to have the strength to see the inner darkness and the shadows of all humanity, and yet to see the goodness and the light of all humanity. And so that the mind becomes one, that the subconscious and the conscious mind speak as one, not as maybe separate voices. And when one has played the game of subconscious, conscious, and you start to change that course, to start to tear up the floor. You will feel the mustiness, your screams, your yells, and all the hidden stuff that we've hidden from ourselves. That's hard to deal with. The nasty part of ourselves, the parts that are cruel. And no wonder we all have a license for the subconscious. And this is where forgiveness comes in. That we can forgive ourselves. And continue to tear the floor. Because as you do, you will find there's really nothing to stand on. No more hard floor to stand on. No more to blame it on the subconscious. For you're torn up your floor. And like the earth, does not stand on anything but space itself. And somehow the Spirit seems to be and live in infinity, that most hope exists, and some know is. I was going to use these, but it's gone. These words all day, very simple, very ordinary. And that these words can be used in our lives, so it benefits us and helps us throughout the day. It's not the point of remembering, because we all have problems remembering. And we're finding the sequence of events that took place from sentence to sentence. But it's your feelings inside, your will inside. For what is personal and what is in the humanity, it is your care inside for it all that will draw, that will bring these teachings into your lives so they flow through you naturally. One of the secrets of life. Holding goodwill inside. ye nikite ha ha nite ha ha ha. Nite ha ha ha. tomorrow at 1:30. Good night. Wonderful. People, after so many years of coming to hear me speak, if attention is well paid, one realizes that I'm basically a teacher, a human teacher, and not necessarily the spiritual teacher. But it's basically a human teacher, to teach what it is to be human. And so many people have a tremendous misunderstanding because they have given up on so many aspects, attributes, feelings, thoughts, hopes about other human beings. That one naturally starts to take off into another direction in the head, in the heart, in your dreams, in your hopes. And usually that heads to what is very, 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 very far away. A land that is pure, a land where no one gets hurt, a land where there's nothing but light and plenty of apples and oranges, apples and cornflakes and plenty of milk, plenty of yogurt and toast and a lot of toasters. And everyone has their own car. You don't have to pay for petrol. Your mother doesn't tell you what to do anymore. You don't have to pay taxes. You don't even have to brush your hair if you don't want to. And you don't even have to brush your teeth before you even go to sleep at night. And you can dream all you want. And you can love all you want. You can just turn around and there's a candy store with your favorite chocolate. And they call that an everlasting heaven, nirvana, bliss. Your better half, how it should be, eternity. Or you could say the dream of God. And because so many people have given up, children easily give up on the adult world at a very early age because of what they see, that adults, they create war, they kill, they hate, they lie, they love you and then they hate you, they love you and then they hit you. And there's no way that they could actually straighten up all that confusion, for they know that their little tiny bodies will not stop growing. Inch by inch, centimeter by centimeter, millimeter by millimeter, until it reaches a certain height. And yet, even though there may be war or there may be peace, until the first 33 years of life, you have the universe actually backing you up with a great wind. Not just a biological wind of youth, but the spirit, the breath of your own spirit, and the breath of spirit itself, giving you a vitality, a feeling of everlasting, that you could never die, and you can never get sick like those that are older than you. And somehow when you're below 33, how it is to feel invincible. You don't even have to pump iron, push weights, for somehow the muscles are taut and feeling full of strength. And somehow your mind is very clear, very sharp. And somehow you know what you're going to do. But as all find out eventually, somewhere around the age of 33, that wind, that breath of your own spirit, that wind and the breath of spirit itself stops. And then that human being starts to coast for almost another 10 years. For some it's 7, for some it's only 3. For the decision has basically been made in what direction you are going to walk. And it takes a number of years before that human being realizes they start to feel more vulnerable. They're not so sharp anymore. They're not so quick with their reflexes. Somehow they feel the pains of labor, of having to go to work every day. And somehow they begin to understand what their mother and father and what their grandparents and uncles and aunts have been trying to tell them all these years. The difficulties of what it is to grow up. And like a bullet being projected out of a barrel of a gun, and having that immense gunpowder firing itself, exploding, and somehow you did not have to pull the trigger, for it was the conception of your own birth. And somehow there was an act of creation that pulled the trigger. And it wasn't you who put the gunpowder into the bullet, but somehow you did. And then you're off like a speeding bullet, like a speeding train, like a speeding missile, like a speeding thought. And there you're off like a speeding football. And there you're off, projecting yourself far into your own future. And when that age of 33 has been reached, the momentum of the impact of that gunpowder has ceased. And now the rest of it is just coasting. And for around and now, the next 10 years, the coast is taking place. And when you finally reach that age, when the bullet finally hits the earth, the coasting has stopped. That is when most human beings start to realize, and they start to look around and search, what happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? And how a human being starts to turn around then to blow with your own breath to somehow get the wind started up again. But the human being is being prevented from turning your head 180 degrees around. And you cannot blow the winds behind your back. And then those that are a little more inventive, they wait until a great storm comes around, and somehow picking up the idea out of a sailboat with a vast sail and letting the winds push the boat with its own wind. So maybe if I catch the right storm, I can somehow get the inertia to cease and let the movement take place and get started again and make my life easier and softer. And one will find out not even a great storm will do it. For you will be pushed, but once the storm leaves, there's still no breath of the Spirit pushing you anymore. And then the human being starts to realize, I'm on my own. I have literally been dumped by life. Pushed out of the nest. Pushed out of the home. Somehow pushed out of my own heart. Somehow even pushed out of my own mind. Dumped by life. Dumped by Spirit. And somehow deep inside, as one starts to feel the pity and starts to work this out, then one starts to say, okay, that's the way it is. And I must pick up my own feet and somehow keep moving, keep moving, keep walking. And maybe now it is time to mature. For my body, I have no choice. For my choice is to mature my mind and my heart, to mature my logic, my common sense, my reasons, to update my attitude, to update my mind, to whatever the given situation is. For there has to be a great purpose. For one must surely think the first 33 years are really basically free, totally free. And then one basically has another 7-10 years of coasting. So you could say one has a very long time to contemplate before one is dumped, one is pushed out of the nest. And then, and only then, the journey, the real journey begins. Because you are all left alone. A very crucial and important time for a human being. And how true it is that most men don't really find their real true profession until they hit their late 40s and 50s. And as it is for women too. And somehow when you find yourself all on your own, and those that have learned to do well with it and come to terms with it, somehow things seem to settle down. Like sticking a pan into the earth on a river and shaking the earth around and somehow hoping you find the gold out of the earth. And it's these little gold nuggets that make all the difference in the world. And how one tries to find the golden keys of reason and logic, of how to make more money, how to win more friends. How to find your soulmate. How to find a better way to advertise. How to walk better in our streets. How to have better dreams. How to be more content. Or you see, actually, because so many human beings don't quite make it so well. That it is only then that it becomes easier to seek the heavens and somehow start to become more and more a dreamer walking on this earth. For it is easier to do, to keep the subconscious very alive and to keep the sky divided. So I have a license to have a subconscious, and I have reasons not to know, not to see, and not to understand. And in time, after one has bounced from year to year and has settled down a little bit, to find one gold nugget, somehow like a blessing, somehow you may feel it's a little luck, or somehow you deserved it. But for whatever the reason is, by being alone, standing alone, being dumped, being left alone, being all alone, the wise person, the wise student of life, begins to realize that this is the way it is this is the grand design, then I can speak directly to the architect. I can speak directly to the designer of all that there is. Architect, architect, designer of it all. I will continue to walk through this valley of what it is to be alone. No longer in the nest, no longer the winds behind my back. And I'm sure for some the valley is long and wide. And for some, I'm sure the valley may be very, very short and not too wide. But whatever the length it is for one to walk, there is something about what it is to be alone. For there is a great reality to that somehow that most people basically misunderstand. You cannot put two planets side by side together. You cannot even put two moons side by side together. Unless two human beings are conceived and are conceived together by skin, where they share the same heart, that is the only way we can, let's say, tolerate each other to some degree. And yet, no matter how much you love that human being, you could only hold and kiss, embrace that human being before, like any two planets, it has to be pulled apart by circumstances, by work, by your child crying out, by hunger, by a sound coming from outside, by an edginess emanating out of your nerves. And as the two bodies are being separating, one walking to the bathroom, the other one walking into the kitchen, and how the planets, how the moons of the mind and the sun of your own heart dodging in and out of the rooms, in and out of one's life. And yet somehow these gold nuggets that very few people find. Where they are not corrupt by greed, are not corrupt by hatred. And somehow they have not given up on humanity. It is these people that do not seek to travel any place else. They do not seek to find a heaven or way to go to heaven. For they realize it's most important to learn to be a human being first. Know who you are today, and you will have a much better chance knowing who you are going to be tomorrow. If you do not know who you are today, you will have a very difficult time knowing who you are going to be tomorrow. If a person spends so many years running from the fear, from all the terrible things that happen and take place in this world, if they run from hurt and disappointment and pain, and the conditions has turned into a conditioning of habitual conditioning, the conditioning continues to carry after one passes away, and the dreamer continues to be the dreamer from one life to the next. There's a very good reason why you are here. A very good common sense reason. You will not find it in a book. You will not find it around the corner. But you will find glimpses of it from certain pictures. You will find a glimpse of it bouncing off certain letters and certain words and certain sentences and certain chapters and certain books. You will find it off, the glimmering off some people's eyes at certain times. You will find it in certain experiences as you walk your life. And sometimes you will find it somewhere deep inside, somehow behind a thought, behind a sensation, behind a feeling. But see, you eventually have to let go of your crutches, your wheelchairs. You have to learn to see your veils that are before your eyes, and there are so many. And you have to have the courage to see the inert goodness of existence and of your life. And you have to have the courage to see your own shadows and to see the shadows of others and yet still not hate and walk backwards in disgust. And basically, all it takes is don't seek what is above. For there's a very good reason why there are sticks and stones, pencils and pens, various kinds of textures of paper, many colors to choose from of dress and pants, and why there are many faces that we can put out. There are many tones of skin. There are many ways to look at a picture, many ways to look at an experience. There are many ways to direct and play a play. There are many types of singers. There's many ways to conduct business and many ways to make money. And there are many types of friends. A big basket of varieties of all shapes and sizes and colors. And like a child in a sandbox, and yet the earth is a very big sandbox. But when the dreamer awakens, the dreamer stands up and knows that all it is just a sandbox. That's all it is. I know you threw sand into my eyes. I know you have hurt me with your thoughts. But it's still nothing but a sandbox, and it still is only sand in my eyes. That's all. So when you feel your separateness, your loneliness, when you feel all alone, when you feel deserted, when you feel dumped, when you feel left behind, when that phone call has not come, when that letter has not been delivered, when the knock on the door is silent, when those good feelings don't come, when those hormones are not being produced, when there's no bright light erupting in your head, there's a very, very good reason. For a human being needs to know what it is to be alone. For you cannot eat for me, only me. You cannot die for me, I can only die for myself. You cannot be born for me. You cannot dream for me. You cannot hope for me. You cannot walk for me. You cannot eat for me. You cannot love for me. The greater reality of two planets always being separated by time and space. And as it is for the spirit within the human being. That's why basically we teach our children to be independent. And it's a very natural feeling to do. To think for themselves. To walk on their own. So they can leave the nest. Not be dumped, but leave the nest. Under goodwill. So be wise with your time and be wise with your life. And embrace that you do not fit another body into your blouse or into your shirt. You do not fit another person into your pants or into your socks. There's a very good reason why you can only fit into your own clothes. There's a beauty in it. And yet, we are alone. To have the blessing to have a friend, to have the good fortune, you can say, to find a love. Or to have a person that you can talk to. Know it. Know it. Do not take it for granted. Know it. Study business and see the goodness of business. It is a beautiful gift. that has been brought into this world. For business has replaced bullets for pens and pencils. For missiles can be replaced with contracts and a handshake. When people become educated more about what your money is, not just the value of the mark in a newspaper or some stock exchange, but the value of effort it takes so people can exchange, so people can communicate, so there are more decades of peace and not war. But when people do not pay attention to what the real value is of your German mark, it is replaced with fear and doubt. And that fear and doubt, like a compass, it heads up north and points to human beings. And all you do is see fear and doubt in human beings. Who is walking in through that door? The one who does not care about the mark or the one who has respect for the mark? It makes a difference. For the one thing that has been deteriorated in most societies, and that is respect. There's less respect for the elderly. There's a tremendous amount of fear and ignorance with business. And yet there are those that are still educating themselves and finding many good reasons why to have more respect. There is a certain note in one's heart. There's a certain string within one's fiber of one's spirit inside. And like a guitarist or pianist that somehow knows and plays that note, and it rings out, it is a note of respect. And the vibration goes out and can touch so many ears just with a glance, with a certain movement, with a certain feeling, and affects so many people, quietly but loudly. It is respect that really can carry a person. Once you understand these very small nuggets of gold, and protect that little nugget and put it in your pocket, a nugget of respect that somehow vibrates and miraculously vibrates out and touches others. How so many people wonder why they find nothing but bad luck or misfortune every now and then. And there are those that find nothing but wonderful things throughout every day, from week to week, month to month. And what is the magic? What's the formula? Respect cannot be debated. It can hardly even be discussed. Very difficult to talk about. But everyone knows very quietly respect is respect. So very simply, a commodity, a material that affects this whole planet is your money. And being that you touch it every day, you touch it every day. Do not take it for granted, but update your minds. Update your education and what your German mark is all about. And when you touch it with respect. And when you give it away or you buy something, with respect. Like passing on a blessing to a sales clerk, to a cashier. And how gossip can destroy a person's reputation, and all it is gossip. And how fear can bring a nation down, as it is with a very simple act of respect can uplift a person that is down. It can uplift a family, a block, a city, a village, a town, and a nation in time. So you see human beings every day. They can touch the whole world just with their own money. Like passing on the handshake, passing the word, passing the baton, passing the feeling, passing on the hope, passing on that particular tone. So you see, you make a difference. And you have many opportunities every day to make that difference. That little bit, that is a lot. when the student of life and when the citizen of that nation consciously passes on the respect from day to day, day to day, that in itself just does not turn into a conditioning, but changes the whole network within that person's mind and heart. They become more and more, quite easily, an astronaut with an astronaut's view. Put your hand away from your cheek. Don't let your confusion confuse you. Just be steady. It's okay. You will find your strength, a different kind of strength from the muscles. You will find your strength in places that most people do not know where to look. And that is in the witness and the silence of yourself. But usually most people have to walk through their uncomfortableness and their confusion and their doubt and their fear to get there. And just know, if your conditioning is such, then you'll find yourself standing back, walking backwards, just to feel comfortable. And to find this witness, when a storm comes, go out and stand in the storm. And take off as many clothes as you can without freezing to death. And feel what it is for the storm to beat upon you. Feel it without trying to run away, for that is the habit of the Westerner, is to run from the storms, hide. Let the wind and the rain beat upon your cheeks and your brow. Let the cold grip your skin. And when you find yourself finally embracing it, you will find yourself much easier. That when your storms of doubt and fear, guilt and hesitation start to come, you're able to stand fast and strip yourself of your veils, of your Berlin walls, of your hiding places, and come out from the tree and stand there. Have you ever asked, what are the winds for? Are they just to blow your smog away from your city lights? Have you ever asked what the winds are really for and why they come? Are they to force you inside your homes to hide? They have no purpose but to blow the leaves away in autumn? They have nothing to do with you because they get you wet or afraid of being hit by a twig or a dead insect that have been killed by it, or to get compounded by all the raindrops and leaves. Go and embrace the storms so you can laugh with it and dance in the storms. And then it becomes easier to dance in all the shadows that are not so nice in this world. That's what the body is for. Just don't waste it when the air is calm and comfortable. Without the wind, there is no life as we know it. No breath that enters your throat. For trust me, it's like a storm inside. Traveling very, very fast into your lungs. And sometimes it's very, very quiet, like a very soft breeze. Nite ha ha ha. Peace to your minds. Peace to your hearts. Peace. 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 Nite te. Open up your eyes. Let's take a break. That's a. Yeah, maybe. This is nice. There's some more room up here. Huh? Don't be so shy. Some person who has a good eye to understand the human predicament that has afflicted countless thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of generations, that has created so much conflict that and both sides, the male and the female, still don't know how to who they are. Relationships, basically. We can build rockets to finally penetrate our outer atmosphere and go out into outer space, but we can't figure out who women are or where they came from, and women can't figure us out and why we do what we do, and that will always be a mystery that will never be figured out, and maybe one day we'll even we'll grow some wings, real wings maybe, and say, I'm masculine, I'm a man, and I've got some wings, but I still don't know who you are. I still don't know, women, okay, men, okay. Oh, here's a little story about it. Maybe that it will help to clarify the old age question, and maybe it can give us some answers, or maybe even set us further apart. Okay. My French is not so good, so you're going to have to excuse me or maybe help me when I need some help. Computer, that's the title, computer. So we know that it's a pretty masculine here going on here. But, even though it's a computer, how the beauty of the feminine can easily come in. And here we have it in this here. Computer. A language instructor was explaining to her class that in French, nouns, unlike their English counterparts, are grammatically designated as masculine or feminine. House in French is feminine. La maison? Oh, okay. Pencil in French is masculine. Le crayon. Was it good?
Yeah, it's very good. Very good.
I was making fun. Really? Hey. One puzzled student asked, "What gender is computer?" The teacher did not know, and the word wasn't in her French dictionary. So for fun, she split the class into two groups appropriately enough by gender and asked them to decide whether computer should be masculine or feminine noun. Both groups were required to give 4 reasons for their recommendation. The men's group. Notice how the men's group is first. Hey, sorry. Look at the Bible. Adam and Eve. Men was first. Well, we've got to stick together, these men. We got to know our place in life. Okay. The men's group decided that computers should definitely be of the feminine gender. La computer. Because, number one, no one but their creator understands their internal logic. That's true. I gave up on teaching about relationships. I literally gave up. Okay. The native language they use to communicate with other computers is incomprehensible to everyone else. Okay. Even the smallest mistakes. No. This is magnificent. Okay. Even the smallest mistakes, and men, you know this, are stored in long-term memory. For possible later retrieval to get it whenever you want. Women have access to it. They never forget. Number 4, as soon as you make a commitment to one, you find yourself spending half your paycheck on accessories for it. No, hey. No, you're taking it wrong. You're taking it wrong. No, that's true. It's true. It's true. It's just a reality. It's just the way it is, and it's true. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's what you do. You end up, you got a lot of accessories goes with it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not derogatory. It doesn't mean to. It's just how it is. That's how it functions. That's how money and relationships function. If you don't like that, it is because, see, most generations, women, they grow up thinking that's the way it is. But the generation that a lot of you women are in grew up to be independent. Think independent. It's my money. I'm going to do it myself. And da-da-da-da-da-da. And because of this feminist movement that came in, that completely changed the way women think. And that's why the statement is so difficult. Because you're so single-oriented. Single, my money, 50-50, I do 5 dishes, you wash 5 dishes. I clean, I'm going to sweep half the kitchen, you have to sweep the other half, Something like that, it's changed. Yeah, so... Now let us get on to the other gender. All right. The women's group, however, concluded that computers should be masculine. La computer, because le, yeah, le. That's right. Le. Number one, in order to get their attention, you have to turn them on. It's natural. It's true. That's how we operate. That's the only way. I don't know no other way that get my attention. Huh? It's true. There's a button. Where? Well, actually, men's buttons is very, very easy. I mean, they're just, it's very easy. Number two, they have a lot of data, but they are still clueless. That's true. That's true. They have a lot of data, they have a lot of information, but they are still clueless. They still don't get it. They still don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. Okay. Number three, they are supposed to help you solve problems, but half the time they are the problem. Yeah. And believe me, us men have to go to sleep with that. Huh? We suffer because of that. And we see it in your eyes, and we suffer with it all day, you know? Okay. Number four, as soon as you commit to one, you realize that if you waited a little longer, you could have gotten a better model. So that's why in most cultures and throughout time they've been teaching you patience, 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 patience. Yeah. Oh, this is the last sentence? All right. Let's see. Oh, the women won. Had to get that in, huh?